Hello everyone, I'm Anish Bhattacharya with Encryption Consulting, and in this video I will be showing you how you can create your own PKI environment using Azure Blob as your CDP and AIA points. Now for this to work you also need a domain name. So if you have that, that's awesome. I will be using encryptionconsulting.com. But if you do not have, you can always go to freenom.com to buy a domain for free, or you can buy an actual domain for really a cheap amount. Now, first thing that we will do is we'll go to Azure and we'll create a storage account. So when you set up your Azure and you create a storage account, what are the steps that you need to take? Let's see. First, we'll create a resource group and we'll call it PKI test. Okay, it already exists. Let's say PKI normal. Okay, it exists. I will create a new resource group PKI, and for storage name I will actually say PKI test. Okay, I will leave the region, and for this I would actually recommend zone redundant storage. I'll go to advanced. I will leave all of these in default. We'll go to networking. We'll allow public access from all the networks, and we'll use Azure, Microsoft's normal routing. So all of these I will leave at default. These also I will leave at default. For this I will say PKI test project and so on, and I will review it. And so once Microsoft is done with checking the prerequisite, we can create it. So currently it is running final validation, and finally we can create. So deployment in progress, and we should be done in a couple of seconds. Okay. So now as our storage account is created, we will need to do a few things before we can use it. First, we have to attach it with our domain encryptionconsulting.com. So we'll go to endpoint, which we will find over here under settings, and here you will see a few things. Now we'll copy this static website. So we'll copy this thing, go to our domain DNS settings, go to DNS records, and we will add a CNAME. Here I will say PKI test as our host name, which will redirect to this. Now this won't work. We have to remove all these slashes as well as the HTTP as well. After this is removed, we can create our record. Now it is created. Now we'll go back. We'll go to our networking, go to custom domains, and here we have to give PKI test.encryptionconsulting.com. Now for this to work, we'll just click on save. It will check our CNAME records to see if it is present or not, and finally we get a successful message. Now we'll go to containers and we'll create a container called PKI. We'll leave that to be blob and we'll create it. Now inside PKI we'll just upload something. So let us check what we can upload. Do I have something? So I will be uploading this test document, which is a basic Thales documentation on Cypher Trust Manager, just to check if this will work or not. So I click on upload and I will drag that file. No, I have to browse it, sorry. And I'll go to documents and choose that test file. And I'll click on upload. Okay, so it should be uploaded. Now, how do we access it? So we'll go to pki.encryptionconsulting.com/pki/test.pdf. Now, resource not found, which is something might be wrong. Yes, I did not give the URL correct. So it is pki test.encryptionconsulting.com, and the account doesn't support HTTP. Now, yes, we can give HTTPS for it to work, but the thing is, if we do it in PKI, the HTTPS won't work properly because we will get this type of error. So we need to enable HTTP. So what do we do is, we go back to our resource, we go to configuration, and we disable secure transfer required. Okay, so now it is uploaded. We can now we'll check if we can actually access it or not. So we'll go to https:// yeah, we'll try first with HTTP and then we'll go back to HTTPS. So pki test.encryptionconsulting.com/pki/test.pdf. Actually, we can see it right here, and it can actually get the document for me. Now I will actually remove HTTPS and go to HTTP, and there we go, we can again access the PDF. So it is actually working as intended. Now if it doesn't work for you initially, I would actually recommend that you wait for a couple of minutes before trying, so that the DNS actually resolves correctly and all these setting changes that you did does take effect. So we'll now delete this file, we don't need. So we'll also delete blob snapshots and everything. So file has been successfully deleted. Okay, so we can access it, and our CDP and AIA point that we'll actually be using is ready. Okay, so now we will be creating our virtual machines. So we'll just click on create and create an Azure virtual machine. Once it's open up, we'll choose our resource group. So for this, I will choose an HPKI and give DC01 and give it data center ECS1. I'll give the username as my name and a password that you would need to connect to the machine via RDP. Hit open all the ports and go to disk. I'll choose, I will leave this on default, NHPKI 1040. So I'll create this new and make sure this is static, basic static one, SKU basic, and I will leave this on default again. Change nothing else, go to management and advanced, and we'll go to tags, give this project PKI test project and create it. Now after the validations by Azure, we'll click on create. Now keep in mind, this is a test environment. If you were doing it on productions, you have to change accordingly to your needs. So the encryption on the machines and so on would be set as per you, because this is a test environment, and on production it will be vastly different. So once it is created, we will change the static IP of the private IP. Okay, so we'll let it deploy, and once it is done, we will do the necessary changes. Now once your DC01 is deployed, we'll go to networking, DC01697, go to IP configurations, ipconfig1, make this static and save. Okay, once this is done, we'll go back to our VM and we will actually connect to it. using this IP address. So I'll just simply open it up, given the IP address. Given the credentials that I provided previously. Once this opens up, I will go to ncpa.cpl to change my DNS settings. I'll go to properties and IPv4, and in the DNS settings I will actually provide this IP 10404. So 10404. And in alternate DNS I'll provide 1111, or you can also provide Google's one, which is 8.8.8.8. I click OK, and once you click this OK, these changes will take effect. But now your machine is stuck. So to solve this, we'll close this and restart the machine from here. Meanwhile, we'll create another virtual machine, so I'll just duplicate this tab, which will be our issuing CA. Go to Home, go to Virtual Machines, and create another machine. I'll give a resource name as ANISHPKI CA02, given the Windows Server 2019, given the username and password. Allow all the ports. Go to next disk, and then in networking, I'll make sure it's on the same subnet as DC01. So it should be on 10.4.0 subnet basically, and it is. In public IP, I'll choose again static. Click OK. Okay. Our work here is done. We'll go to Management, Advanced, and then Tags, and make sure our project tab is selected. And finally, after the final validation, we'll create it. So you'll create the virtual machine, and by that time your DC should be restarted. So we'll connect back to it using the same IP. We'll give in the credentials. Okay. Now we'll open sysdm.cpl. Here is your server name basically located. If you want to change it, you can. I don't want to change it, but if you want to change, you can simply click on change and change the computer name. I don't want to change, so I will just leave it as it is. I'll go to manage and add rules and features. Just click on next. This is our server. Now I want to install the domain services, so I will click on this, add the features, and next I will just confirm all of these settings and finally install. Now once that is done, we'll click on promote the service to a domain controller. So click on this link. If you can't, you can also do it from the notification center. We'll add a new forest and we'll call this Encon.com. Click on next. In the domain controller options, you have to get the DSRM password. So provide a password that you may remember. Click on next. We'll leave the section in default. NetBIOS will be automatically taken, so I would suggest don't change it. We'll leave these locations as default, but if you have a D drive where you can store your log files, I would recommend that in a production environment, but for here we'll just leave it as it is. Click on next. Review the settings, that's okay. After the prerequisite check, we'll just click on install and it will install our domain controller and configure it so that we can use it. So we'll just click on install. Okay, so it is done. We'll click on close. The machine will not restart, but it will sign out of our current user. So close it up. It will sign us out. Now that you are logged out of your DC01, we will let it restart, but till then we will create our root CA. Now you can create this root CA anywhere you want, but I will be creating it on my Proxmox Type 1 hypervisor. So I will log into my Proxmox server. And here I already have a root CA that I previously used. So I will be using this. I'll make sure this is logged in. Yep, this is. Okay, looks like it is on. Okay, let me just quickly check what is the IP of this machine. Okay, it's 150, so I will remotely log into that machine. Okay. So this will be my root CA on premises. Now if you are using VirtualBox or VMware as your Type 2 hypervisor, that is also okay. But here I am using my Type 1 hypervisor. So first thing first, we'll actually create a notepad file for the CA policy.inf. So to create the CA policy.inf, we'll just say notepad c:/windows/CA policy.inf. This file is not automatically created, so you can just create a new file by clicking yes. Now we will copy paste a code that will be in the description below. So this will be our default settings, so RenewalKeyLength 2048, recommended date is 1496 and so on. We will change these settings later on, don't worry. And we will save this and exit. Now to create our root CA, go to server manager, we'll read it, refresh. Okay, everything is ready. We'll go to manage, add roles and features, next. This is the machine that we want to install, and we'll choose Active Directory Certificate Services. Add the features, click on next, and finally install. Once that is done, we'll configure this machine. We'll choose Certificate Authority from here. Click on Next. This will be a standalone CA and a root CA. We'll create a new private key, and this will be the private key. You can choose different lengths from here. If you want 4096, you can choose that as well. I'll click Next. Now this is the common name for the server. We'll actually say Encon root CA. Click on Next. Validity 5 years. That's okay. We'll change it later on. And this is where the location of the database and the log files will be. You can change it to D drive if you want, but that's okay for now. We'll confirm everything and configure the root CA, and we'll finally close it. Now there are a few things that we will be configuring that we said before. We will be configuring them through registry key. So first is say Certutil set registry key CA slash DSConfig. Common name will be configuration. DC will be Encon and DC equals com. DSConfigDN, sorry, I missed that part. It is essential that you don't miss anything. For your benefit, I will actually be pasting all of these commands that I am running on the description below. Now we will choose our CRLPeriodUnits and everything. So I will just click on the up arrow, set registry for CA / CRLPeriodUnits, which will be 52 for now. Now you can obviously change it. It's not hard and fast rule that it has to be 52. Now period CRL period will be in weeks. Now delta CRL period will do that next. So CRL delta period units, for this it will be 0. Now we'll go to CRL overlap period units. Now this will actually keep as 12. That should be enough, but if you want to go more than 12 hours, that's also fine. It really depends on you. So 12 is done. You go to CRL period. This will be in hours. Okay, it was previously in hours, that's okay. Finally we go to validity periods. We previously set that to be 5, we'll change that to 20. And CRL validity period for CA, we'll give that as years. There we go. Now comes the most important parts of the CDP and AIA points. Now again, all of these code will be down below, so I'll be copying from my notepad and paste it over here, and I will explain what are the changes that you need to make. So on the CDP points, we actually gave pki@encryptionconsulting.com, and PKI was the container. Now inside it will be our certificates that we have to manually upload. Apart from that, there is also LDAP that we are using on number 2, and it will be published on CA Windows System 32 Cert SRV Cert Enroll. Everything looks fine. I'll just press enter, and there we go. So everything looks good. First one is our HTTP, second one is our LDAP. Now for the AIA points, we'll do the same exact thing. Again, you need to change the URL of your AIA points again. Let me just copy my AIA. Again, Here it is pkitest.encryptionconsulting.com/pki. Make sure there are no spaces. So I'll press enter and there we go. So it will not publish the CDP directly, it will just add it to the CDP. It is our job to manually copy the CRLs that are published and we have to upload it to our CDP and AIA Points, which is the container on Azure. Once that is done, we will restart the CRV. So net stop cert svc and net start svc. Once this is done, we'll publish our first CRL, Certutil -CRL, and our CRL is successfully published. We'll copy those. So we'll go to Windows, System32, set SRV, set enroll, and there we have both the certificate and the CRL. We'll copy it on here and we will be using it in our issuing CA. Now let's get back into the DC01 and try logging back into it. So this is our CA01, DC01, sorry. I'll try to log in. Now you might have noticed that I gave Encon /Anish. Now Encon is our directory services that we have. Once we log in, it looks everything is fine. Yep, everything looks fine. So now we'll go to our issuing CA, which should be up and running by now. We'll again go to networking. We'll get into the interface, IP configurations, ipconfig1, and we will make the private IP as static as well, and we'll click on save. Once the changes are made, we will log into the machine itself, and looks like should be done any minute. Okay, it's done. We'll go back, go to the resource, and this is here we will get the IP that we have to use to remotely log in. I'll give it 40.76.205.202. I'll give in the credentials, not the DC credentials, not yet. We have to first domain join the machine to the DC. Now once you join in, we have to change the DNS settings of it. For that you need the IP of DC01. Since they are on the same subnet, I can actually use the private IP to make it in the same domain. So I will give 10404 in the DNS settings. Looks like it's still booting up. Okay, so we'll go to ncpa.cpl. Actually we'll no. Once it opens up, go to properties, we'll actually close the server manager, we don't need it right now. Go to IPv4 and here we'll give 10404, which is DC01 IP. We'll click on OK. Again you have to restart it like we did with TC01. We'll restart the machine manually. Give it a few seconds, maybe 1 or 2 minutes, and after that try logging into it again. So we'll wait for a couple of minutes. By the time it is restarting, we'll actually upload our root CA certificates to our Azure. So I'll just copy over here, duplicate this tab. Oh, thank you. Okay, we'll go to home and into our storage account, and this is the one that we created. We'll go inside these containers, then we'll go inside PKI, and here we need to upload them. So I'll actually recommend that you upload it first over here. Create a new folder, PKI test, and paste them over here. Now you need to click upload, browse the files which should be on my desktop, PKI test, both the files, open, and then upload. Okay, looks like both of them are uploaded. That's fine. Now we'll try to log in into this machine again. Yep, this is the machine. I'll give in the credentials. Now we need to join this to the domain of Encon.com. So we'll open sysdm.cpl. Now we don't need to change the computer name, but if you want to, you can. And just click on domain and choose Encon.com. Since we already made changes to readiness, it should pick it up. And once it's contacted, just provide the DC01 username and password that you use to log in. Once that is done, just click OK or press enter. And once it is done, you'll get an welcome message. So click OK. It will have to restart again. So just click on restart now. And again, wait a couple of minutes. Till then, we'll check these URLs if they are working or not. So I will actually go to pki.encryptionconsulting.com/pki/ and whatever the name is, so Encon root ca.crl, Encon root ca.crl. If we press enter, it says resource not found, which is interesting. So Encon root ca.crl. Oh, it's PKI test. My bad. Okay, so it downloaded, that means it is accessible, and if it is accessible, that means it will be accessible to our PKI environment as well. So now let us try to log in to our issuing CA again, but this time instead of Anish, I will give Encon/Anish. That looks good. Now while this is opening up, I will copy these two files, the certificate file and the CRL, that we need to publish in our issuing CA as well. Looks like it has booted up. So I will open the file manager, and in C drive I will paste this. Okay, looks like it copied. Now I'll open up CMD, navigate to C drive. Okay, now we will publish these two certificates, the certificate and the CRL. So we'll do certutil -f/-ds publish. We'll give the file name. So first is encon.crl. Actually, we'll do the certificate first, and we'll see it as root CA. Looks like it is added. Now we will do the same thing with the CRL. I will give CA01. Okay, so the CRL is added. Now we'll add it to our store as well as a trusted certificate. So certutil -add store -f root and given the name. Looks good. So it is added to our trusted root certificate authorities, and we'll do the same thing with our CRL. Okay, so that is added as well. Awesome. Now once that is done, we'll go to our server manager and install the issuing CA. So we'll go next. Yep, this is our server. For this, we'll choose Active Directory Certificate Services. Click on next. Yeah, that's okay. That's also awesome. And here we'll also choose web enrollment if you want. Yep, that is done. Yep, that looks good. And finally click install. This will take a couple of minutes, so we'll let it install and then we'll configure this issuing CA as well. Looks like it is installed. So now we'll configure this. So I click on configure. Yeah, this is the credentials that we will be using. We'll have to choose both of them. Once you choose certificate authority, it will take some time, and after it is done, then you can choose the web enrollment as well. Okay, now we'll choose web enrollment as well. Like next. Yep, this is enterprise CA. Now instead of root CA, you have to choose subordinate CA. It looks like it is still loading. Okay. Yep, subordinate CA. I'll create a private key. I'll leave everything as it is. For the common name, I'll actually give Encon issuing CA. Now it doesn't really matter, but if you are on production, you really want to choose this so that it doesn't conflict and you can scale properly. For the certificate request, we'll save it into a file in C drive. Yep, we'll leave this to certificate database. and finally configure this. Okay, configuration is done. We'll close it, and we'll close this one as well. Go to our C drive and copy this request file, and we will navigate to our root CA, which is this one. Go to its C drive and paste it over here. Okay, so we have the request file. I'll navigate to C drive. Now we have to submit this request, so we can do certReq-submit and then choose the file. So this is the file that we have. Press enter, choose the root CA, click OK. Now it is published. It is submitted for the request. The certificate authority over here. In the pending request, we can see it. Right click all task and issue this. Once issued, it will be coming in the issued certificates list, and we will retrieve the certificate in the same way. So certReq-retrieve to, and then give a name to it. So ca02.encon.com_encon issuing ca.crt. We'll choose the root CA and we got the file. So this is the file that we'll need. We'll go back to our root CA, issuing CA, sorry, and paste this over here. Once that is done, we'll open up our certificate authority on issuing CA. We'll right click over the name, all task, install CA certificate, navigate to where the certificate is present, all files, and we can choose a certificate from here. So this was the certificate that we have issued. We'll open the certificate and it should be there. Now we'll start the service and everything should look good. Okay. Now we still have configuration of the issuing CA left. So we'll do that. Now this is very similar to what we did with root CA. I'll actually copy everything that I already had and paste this over here. Again, all of this code will either be in the blog or in the video description below. Now we'll come back to CDP and AIA points right now. But before that, we'll actually check if it is actually working or not. So we will open up pkiview.msc. Now here we have the root CA, and you can actually see that it gives pki test.encryptionconsulting.com/pki, and it is actually working. Now for the issuing CA, we actually did not give the CDP and AIA points like we did for the root CA. So now we will actually do that. Again, I will be copying from my notepad to here. No, that's root I copied. Okay. So here we are giving the same URL that we actually provided. Sorry. There we go. Now for the CRT, it will be the same PKI. And we'll press enter. And there we go. The CDP AIA point is done. Now we'll move to the CDP. Now there is one interesting thing about the CDP point. Now in here, if you check the URL, it is pki-test.encryptionconsulting.com. But there, after the container, there is something else, certain row. Now, why do we have it here? In a basic point, if we go to the certsrv folder, certsrv, certain row. Now, inside the certain row folder, we have actually two CRLs. Now, what our script will do is it will be copying all these two files and uploading it to our container. So recursively copy actually copies the folder and the files. So certain row folder will be copied and these two files will be copied with it to our container in Azure. So that's why we have the certain rule. If we don't have it, then it will actually not work. So I will publish this, and as we can see, It does publish on LDAP, but it does not publish on the Azure Blob that we have, because our script that we have ready next will actually do that for us. So now we will restart the cert SVC. So to do that, net stop cert SVC and net start cert SVC. Once it is done, we'll publish a CRL and it is successfully done. So now what I will do is copy this file from issuing CA, and now actually if I refresh this, there is 2 points, CDP and AIA points, but we have not uploaded the files. That's why both of them show errors. So first we'll upload the certificate file. So this is the file that we'll uploading next. So I'll close this, I'll click on upload. I'll select the file issuing CA and upload. Once that is uploaded, awesome. So if we go back to our issuing CA and refresh the AIA point, okay, the error is gone. Now to resolve this error, we have to upload the CRL files as well. So for that we actually have a code. So in Encryption Consulting, we have a blog, which is this blog that this video is for. And in here, if I go to this code, this will actually upload it. But there are a few changes that you need to do. So I'll actually show you what are the changes I need to do. So copy this, go inside our issuing CA, and create a new folder, easy copy code, and we'll create a new file which will be code.ps1. You can rename the file, that's okay. And I will paste this whole thing over here. You save this, not as a text but ps1, and save. Okay. Yeah, actually I will save this as something else, not a text file. Easy code, all files, there we go. Okay, so this is our PowerShell code that we had. Now to actually run this, we also need AC copy. So in our blog, we give you where to install AC copy from. There you go, this is a link, and over here you will get the zip file. So 64-bit, I'll just copy this link. We'll go over here and open Internet Explorer and just paste it. But actually I will not do that. So let's actually not do this and download it on my machine, and I will manually copy it to our issuing CA. So I'll paste it over here. This will actually copy the file from my machine to here. While this is loading, I will open up another file explorer, and we will open this easy copy code and edit this. So what are the things that you need to change? Okay. So over here we have the copy destination and so on. So how do we find these things? So I will actually show you. First we also need to get the SAS key or SAS token. So we'll go to our blob and get into shared access token. So we'll use key 1 and we'll use account key only. That's not an issue. And permissions, I will give add, create, write. Delete list, immutable storage, will not give that. And this will be expiring maybe in January 3 or something. No, February 3. Okay. Allowed IP addresses, I will actually leave this and we'll give HTTP and HTTPS. Generate the SaaS token, and this is done. So this is the URL basically, HTTPS, PKI test, and so on. So this has to be created. So this is the thing that you need to copy, PKI test.blob.code, and we'll go inside our issuing CA and we'll give PKI test. Okay. And this is our SAS token. So we'll copy this, or you can just click this, copy to clipboard, and our container name here, we need to change that as well. So we'll do PKI, and in the SAS token I will paste the one that I copied. No problem, you can take a look at this SAS token right now because I will be removing it when the video is published. Okay, so let's check if our easy copies is done. We'll extract this into C C:/AC copy, extract, and there we have it. So this is the file that we want. I will actually copy it from here and paste it here, or you can directly paste it over here, that's also fine. So what are the other things that you need to change? So you can also change the copy location where you will have the logs and everything. This is the log files and everything. Okay, these things you don't need to change. Now here is your easy copy path. Now I have pasted it in C file, a C drive, that is totally fine. You can have it over here. If you are keeping it somewhere else, you can give that. So C:/easycopy/easycopy.exe, but I kept it over here just for simplicity, and you can do that as well. Now we are not doing anything else, and one thing that you will see is we are copying recursively so that all of our files in that folder is copied along with that folder. So there is nothing else to be changed. We'll save it and we'll exit. So that should be it. Now we'll open a PowerShell. Which will be the normal PowerShell. And we will navigate to C:/. Now here we have the easy copy code. So navigate to that. And here we have the PS1 file, easy copy code PS1. So to run this, /easy copy code.ps1 will run this. And so when that is run, you will see number of files transferred is 2. If something goes wrong, you will see it in failed. Now we'll check our blob storage to check if the files are uploaded or not. And then we have the cert_enroll folder. And that's why we had it on the CDP point in our issuing CA. And if we go inside it, we have both the CRLs present. We'll go back to issuing CA, and here now we'll refresh this, and it's not able to. Okay, so let's see what's going wrong. PKI test, Encon issuing CA.CRL. Okay, so looks like our folder is currently present, but let's see what went wrong. Cert_enroll. Okay, let's copy the path from here. Copy URL and paste it over here. And blob not found. Okay, so what's going on? If we go over here, Encon issuing CA.CRL is present, Encon issuing CA.CRL is there. Let's change the capitalization of this just to check if it works or not. Oh, it does. That is the most important point. Now, if it is capital but your URL is not, PKI will not accept it and it will not actually work on Azure. So, how do we fix this? If you made this mistake, what you have to do is publish the CRL, change the CDP points again, and make sure you capitalize it here. If you do not, again, this will be an error. So always remember this. Okay, we'll restart this. And we'll publish a new CRL. Now, there we go. Okay, now we will run this PowerShell code again. Now, okay, so after the CRL is published, we'll open up pkview.msc again, and you can actually see the CDP points are now changed. It's updated to the capitalized ones, and now it is perfectly working. Now, since it is working, we have to schedule a task so that it periodically updates the CRL on our Azure Blob. So we'll open up Task Scheduler and we'll create a new task. So we'll create basic task. We'll name it AZ copy. Given a description, copy CRLs to Azure. Trigger will be weekly, and I will be recommending this on Monday and Friday, just before the week starts and the weekends. But if it is okay, you can just leave it on Monday. That should be fine. Now it really depends actually on your CRL periods, like when you are publishing your CRLs. It should be accordingly updating your Azure Blob. Now we'll be basically starting a program. Now we have to give the script. Now how do we do that? So we'll go to PowerShell and say PowerShell -file and give in the file name. So our file name is C://az copy/ it was az copy code or something. Oh, it was az copy code / and here we'll have the azcode.ps1. We'll run this one and it will actually upload both the files. This is the script that we will be running. So I'll copy this from here and just paste it over here. I'll click on next. Now PowerShell is very intelligent to see which are the arguments and everything. Just click yes on this one. This is what we have and click on finish. Okay, this is our easy copy. We'll run this. Okay, if we go to history, we can see everything that has happened to it. It might be bugged. Let me just check. Okay, history, task completed successfully. That means it is working, and every week on Monday it will be uploading our CRL files to our Azure Blob. Once again, we'll check everything is okay or not. Oh, it is not. But now it is okay. Yeah, it sometimes happens. But that's okay. Everything looks fine. Everything looks good. Our root CA, CDP and AIA are fine. Our issuing CA, CDP and AIA are also fine. Now that's it from my side. If you have any questions, just leave a comment down below and I will be answering them personally. Thank you everyone and have a nice day ahead. Bye bye.